Do you know why legends are created in 30 days and forgotten in 30 years? It's because most people believe legendary status comes from talent, luck, or being in the right place at the right time. They think legends are accidents. They're wrong. Legends are built through a type of discipline so extreme that most people can't even comprehend it. Not the discipline of showing up when you feel motivated, not the discipline of working hard when things are going well, but the discipline of total commitment to a system every single day without exception until you transform so deeply that people no longer recognize the person you used to be. There is a discipline system that was used by the historical ninja warriors of Japan called ninpo. Not the Hollywood version filled with smoke bombs and acrobatics. The real version, a complete operating system for the human being. Physical, mental, emotional, strategic, spiritual. Ninpo wasn't about being flashy. It was about being effective, invisible, unshakable, absolutely unstoppable. The ninja trained for years, but the most important transformation, the moment when an ordinary civilian became a warrior, happened in the first 30 days of total immersion. Those 30 days decided everything: who quit and who became legendary. Before I show you this system, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below what you want to be legendary at. Not good at, not competent at, legendary. I read every comment because ambition matters, and this video exists because I'm tired of watching people with massive potential settle for average lives simply because they've never experienced real discipline. Now let me show you how 30 days of ninpo discipline can lay the foundation for legend status. I want to tell you about a man named Derek. Derek was 32 years old, and he was invisible. Not physically invisible, but socially and professionally erased. The kind of person who attends meetings and no one remembers he was there. The kind of person who posts online and gets 3 likes. The kind of employee who's worked at the same company for 7 years and management still doesn't know his name. Derek had intelligence. He had ambition. He had potential. But he had zero presence, zero impact, zero memorability. He was forgettable, and deep down, he knew it. Derek worked in sales at a mid-sized tech company. His numbers were average. His performance reviews were always the same. Meets expectations. Not exceptional, not impressive, just acceptable. He'd applied for promotions 4 times and lost every time to people who'd been there half as long. When he asked his manager why, the answer was always vague. "You're solid, Derek. We just need to see more leadership, more presence, more initiative." Derek didn't understand what that meant. He showed up every day. He did his job. What else were they expecting? His personal life was no different. He'd been single for 3 years. Dates went fine, but never led anywhere. Women described him as nice, but said there was no spark. He had friends, but he was never the first call. Always the backup option. At family gatherings, he sat quietly while others told stories and commanded attention. When Derek tried to speak, people talked over him or moved on. He was there, but he wasn't seen. Present, but not felt. One night, Derek faced a brutal truth. He was 32 years old and completely unremarkable. If he disappeared tomorrow, maybe 10 people would notice, and they'd forget within a month. He hadn't built anything worth remembering. He hadn't done anything worth talking about. He wasn't bad. He was worse. He was irrelevant. And the most painful part was that he didn't know how to change it. He'd tried confidence tricks. He'd tried speaking more. He'd tried being funnier, smarter, louder. Nothing worked. Because the problem wasn't what he was doing. The problem was who he was. And who he was invisible. Derek's one escape was history. He loved reading about ancient warriors, military campaigns, civilizations that forged powerful men. One night, while reading about feudal Japan, He came across a section on Ninja, not the fantasy version, the real ones. Operatives who worked in shadows, completed impossible missions, survived against overwhelming odds. What caught Derek's attention wasn't their combat skills. It was a single line buried in the text. Ninja were not born special. They were made through a discipline system called Ninpo. Derek went deeper. Ninpo wasn't a martial art. It was a total transformation system. Physical conditioning, mental clarity, emotional control, strategic thinking, spiritual forging. New recruits underwent 30 days of total immersion. If they survived those 30 days, they were no longer ordinary, stronger, sharper, more present. The ones who quit returned to normal life and stayed normal forever. Derek found a modern Ninpo practitioner named Takeda, third-generation instructor. His grandfather had trained under one of the last traditional masters in Japan. Takeda wasn't selling fantasy. He taught the discipline system itself. Derek signed up for a seminar without hesitation. It cost $2,000, expensive but irrelevant. Derek had already paid a higher price, 7 years of invisibility. The seminar was held at a rural training facility. 15 people attended. Takeda was in his 60s, quiet, small-framed, but his presence dominated the room. He opened with one question. "Why are you here?" People gave predictable answers. Discipline, focus, fitness. Takeda shook his head. "Wrong. You're here because you're weak, physically, mentally, spiritually. You've avoided discomfort your entire life, and it's made you soft. Ninpo will make you hard, but only if you commit to the full 30 days. Most of you won't. That's fine. Ninpo is not for everyone. It's for those who want to become legendary." That word hit Derek like a weapon. Legendary. Not successful, not respected. Legendary. Takeda explained that Ninpo was built on 5 pillars: physical mastery, mental clarity, emotional control, strategic thinking, and spiritual presence. For 30 days, all 5 pillars must be trained every single day. No rest days, no modification, no excuses. Miss one day, and you start over. "The discipline is the system," Takeda said. "Without total commitment, there is no transformation." Takeda spent the weekend teaching the blueprint. The first pillar was physical mastery. Every morning, before anything else, Derek would complete the Ninja Morning Protocol. Not for aesthetics, for capability. The protocol shocked the body awake, trained endurance, balance, breath, and control. Takeda demonstrated it effortlessly, moving with precision and calm. "This will break you in the first week," he said. "By day 15, it will feel normal. By day 30, it will feel easy. That's how you know your foundation is solid." The second pillar was mental clarity. 30 minutes of Mushin meditation every day, sitting in silence, emptying the mind. No stimulation, no escape. "A warrior with a noisy mind is already defeated," Takeda said. "You will fail at this daily. Keep going. Mental clarity is forged through failure." The third pillar was emotional control. Every day, deliberate exposure to discomfort, cold, fear, embarrassment, rejection, and training yourself not to react. "Emotions make you predictable," Takeda said. "Predictable people are controlled. Ninpo creates emotional sovereignty." By the end of the seminar, Derek knew one thing. This wasn't motivation. This wasn't self-help. This was identity destruction and reconstruction. 30 days to either quit or transform. And for the first time in his life, Derek didn't hesitate. He chose transformation. Derek began his 30-day Ninpo discipline on a Monday at exactly 5 a.m. No alarm snooze, no negotiation. The first morning protocol nearly broke him. His body wasn't prepared for the shock. The burpees felt endless. His lungs burned, his legs shook. By the time he finished the full sequence, he was lying on the floor, staring at the ceiling, questioning every decision that led him here. And the worst realization hit him immediately. This wasn't a one-time test. This was day 1 of 30. He still had to go to work. He still had to function. Ninpo didn't replace life. It stacked on top of it. The mental clarity practice was torture in a different way. Sitting still for 30 minutes with no stimulation exposed how chaotic his mind really was. Thoughts attacked non-stop. Regrets, anxiety, to-do lists, imaginary conversations. Derek realized he had never actually been alone with his own mind before. He'd always distracted himself. Phone, music, noise. Mushin stripped all of that away. Emotional control practice that day was a cold shower. The shock was immediate. His body panicked. His breath collapsed. Every instinct screamed to escape. He lasted barely 2 minutes. Strategic journaling that night was humiliating. When Derek analyzed his day, he saw the truth. He had no strategy. He reacted to everything. Presence practice exposed another flaw. His body was always somewhere his mind wasn't. He ended day 1 exhausted, sore, frustrated, and angry. And that's when Ninpo began doing its real work. Day 3 was hell. His muscles ached constantly. His mind tried to bargain. Skip today, modify tomorrow, rest once. But Ninpo doesn't negotiate. Takeda's warning echoed in his head. Most people quit between day 3 and day 7. Derek understood why. The discomfort peaks before results appear. This is where ordinary people abandon transformation and return to comfort. Derek stood up anyway. He completed the protocol. Slowly, painfully, but completely. That act alone started changing something inside him. By day 7, Derek noticed his first shift. The physical pain was still there, but it no longer controlled him. His breath recovered faster. His movements became more efficient. His cold shower time increased. His meditation, while still chaotic, contained brief moments of silence. Seconds, but real. His emotional reactions were slower. There was a gap between stimulus and response. That gap was power. Presence still required effort, but he was catching himself more often, waking up, returning to the moment. Something inside him was hardening. Day 10 marked the real turning point. The morning protocol stopped feeling impossible. Difficult, yes, but manageable. His body had adapted. His nervous system was stabilizing. His mind during meditation began to observe thoughts instead of drowning in them. Emotional exposure no longer terrified him. He voluntarily initiated uncomfortable conversations. He stopped avoiding tension. Strategic thinking shifted from journaling exercise to default behavior. He began planning days intentionally. Presence started leaking into interactions. People noticed before he did. Days 11 through 20 transformed Derek completely. His physical strength skyrocketed. He added intensity without being told. His posture changed. His movements slowed but became deliberate. He occupied space differently. Mushin deepened. He experienced minutes of mental silence, not peace, clarity, the absence of noise. His productivity doubled because distraction lost its grip. Emotional control became instinctive. Criticism no longer pierced him. Rejection no longer lingered. He felt emotions fully, then released them without attachment. This was not suppression. It was mastery. Strategic thinking became his edge. Derek no longer reacted to problems. He anticipated them. At work, he started seeing patterns others missed. He proposed solutions before issues escalated. Leadership noticed. His presence sharpened further. When Derek spoke, people listened. Not because he spoke louder, but because he spoke with intent. His attention was absolute. In a world of distraction, that made him dangerous. Days 21 through 30 were about integration. The 5 pillars stopped feeling like practices and started feeling like identity. Derek didn't do discipline anymore. He embodied it. The morning protocol energized him. Meditation sharpened him. Emotional exposure became curiosity instead of fear. Strategy guided every decision. Presence anchored him in every interaction. He wasn't trying to be impressive. He simply was different. On day 30, Derek reviewed the journey. The photos shocked him, but the deeper change wasn't visible. His internal state had shifted permanently. He was calm under pressure, focused without effort, unshakable without arrogance. He had become someone capable of legendary action. Not a legend yet, but forged, hardened, ready. 6 months later, Derek's life bore no resemblance to the past. He was promoted into leadership. His voice carried weight. People sought his approval. His relationships changed. Women felt his presence before he spoke. His body moved with quiet confidence. He maintained all 5 pillars daily. Ninpo wasn't a challenge anymore. It was his operating system. 2 years later, Derek built something meaningful. Not flashy, effective. People remembered him, respected him, trusted him. He wasn't famous, but he was undeniable. And that's what legends actually are. Not loud, not viral, but impossible to ignore. Now this blueprint is yours. 30 days, 5 pillars, total commitment, no modification, no negotiation. Ninpo does not care about your excuses. It only responds to obedience. Most people will quit. That's fine. Ninpo was never meant for everyone. It was meant for those willing to suffer transformation. If you are ready, comment 1 sentence only. Day 1, Ninpo begins. Then execute. 30 days from now, you will either be exactly the same or fundamentally different. Legend status is not a title, it's a trajectory. And it starts with discipline. Be present, walk with honor, follow the path.